Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin' Rob, and on this show, I bring my closest friends together to talk about all the news happening in our pop culture world around us. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of our silly little show here. But this is a very special, well, I mean, technically it's a very special episode because this recording will start on 99, but beyond, we will be at 100. So we finally made it to 100 episodes, so hell yeah. Woo woo. But to get into it, I want to
Dude, you sounded so enthusiastic over that.
Oh yeah, I am tired. No, but to be real, I am very glad.
You sound dead.
I don't blame you. I feel dead.
I am fueled by the energy of editing. That is what keeps me alive. But I would like
for
to.
Me, it's nicotine and caffeine.
Hey, I don't do caffeine. I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. I don't know how I live without it though. But I would like to welcome all my lovely friends to this very monumental moment for us. So wow. Okay, great. Already flopping.
And we're leaving that in.
Yep. I'd like to welcome Gemini.
Hello.
And I would like to welcome Menace.
Hello.
Welcoming back for the first time in a while. We have Blaze.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, where you been?
Stop setting up recording sessions on days I can't be here.
Dude, it's not my fault that you happen to have to go off to war every time we sit down to record.
Not my fault you can't schedule right.
Okay, it'll be easier going forward, okay? Because there's a thing. Going forward, we will be switching to bi-weekly uploads at 100, and that is just to kind of give me a little bit of a respite to kind of be able to do other stuff with my time so I'm not on my computer 24/7. Not saying I can't do it, not saying I don't love it, but just saying that, you know, some things need to take a back seat sometimes. Okay, and then for future editing, Bobbert, one, I'm not a bitch no matter what these three people say.
Mega bitch.
Okay. Second, do the flip reversey. Anyways, but to celebrate this lovely
Flip
occasion,
reversey.
What?
The flip reversey?
Yeah, the flip reversey, you know, Willy Wonka style. And I think I'm watching too much Casey Rocket. Anyways, I am really excited to talk about this because honestly, I feel like we weren't even supposed to get this, but we recently got the Spider-Noir live-action teaser trailer. Now, the reason why I think we weren't supposed to get this trailer is I can find no official trailer. All I can find are just re-uploads. And when I try to find the Reddit page, because, you know, Reddit always has every answer you need, I clicked on a link that had the original video, and for some reason it said it was taken down by a copyright claim by Amazon. So, yeah, this is real. This isn't like some fake thing that a fan made. This is real. This has Nicolas Cage. This is live action, and I am so excited because, as you all know, Spider-Man is one of my favorite comic book characters. I love Spider-Man. I love Miles Morales. I even love Spider-Boy. But this version of Spider-Man, Spider-Noir, is just such a different take on the character. Because, one, it's got a completely different art style, so it's going to be like a black and white noir-esque detective type film, and I just am glad to see that this is a series and not a full film, because we're getting a lot of Spider-Man films, and I think with the fact that we have My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it's good to get that opposite end of the spectrum with Spider-Noir. Now, the one thing I do hope, I hope that Nicolas Cage is able to kind of make this his own version and not just copy-paste what he did in Spider-Verse, but I do hope he's able to keep some of that comedic flair. But if there was anybody who I would have chosen to play Spider-Noir, yeah, it's gonna be Nicolas Cage. And that's disregarding the Spider-Verse movies. Even before Spider-Verse, I love that it's Nicolas Cage because I loved him in Ghost Rider. I loved him in all his crazy, wacky other character roles in his movies he's played over his career. He's just a great character actor, and I really think he'll be able to kind of capture this role, because the great thing about Nicolas Cage is he originates as a film actor. He was able to transition well into a voice voice actor as Spider-Noir in the Spider-Verse films, but his main career has been a live-action actor, so I think he'll do a great job in this role. There's not a lot known about this as of right now. The only thing that we know is that it's coming next year in 2026, and again, I don't even think this trailer was supposed to be released, but honestly, this could have just been a ploy by Amazon to shadow drop this trailer to see what the reception of people would be, and at least from my knowledge, everybody's been going crazy about this, because, you know, it's Nicolas Cage, it's Spider-Noir, this is gonna be kind of our holdover until we get to Beyond the Spider-Verse. But if there was one character that I wanted to see have their own spin-off, it's Nicolas Cage. 100%, no exaggeration. He is the one you give the series to. And I really hope they go full force into this and really just adapt the comics one for one, adapt Peter Parker's variant one for one, because like I said, Spider-Noir, out of the multiverse of Spider-Man, especially what we saw in Beyond the Spider-Verse and into No Way Home, Spider-Noir's character is just so quintessentially different from every other version. He's got guns. It's going to be a different Peter Parker, and I like that. I like that we're finally getting a different approach to the goody-goody two-shoes Peter Parker, because we've seen so many. We've seen Ultimate Spider-Man, we've seen Spectacular Spider-Man, we've seen all three iterations of the live-action movie Spider-Man. We've seen literally every interpretation of Spider-Man just as the clean-cut babyface, essentially, to take a wrestling term, where he doesn't really change. There's nothing different about him. It's just the same version of him over and over and over again. So I'm really glad, especially glad, that Nicolas Cage gets another role in the MCU, and this is just my hope for two crossovers. One, we eventually get the Who Frames Roger Rabbit, where we get live-action Nicolas Cage and animated Nicolas Cage's Spider-Noir being able to interact, or we just see live-action Spider-Noir team up with Tom Holland, and you get Gabriel Luna as Ghost Rider, because I think it'd be a little weird if you had Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider and Nicolas Cage Spider-Noir. And come on, Gabriel Luna, dude, his Ghost Rider was dope. I want to see him again. Bring him back. But before I go on any more tangents, that's pretty much everything I have to discuss when it comes to the Spider-Noir teaser trailer that was kind of just shadow dropped on us out of nowhere. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great series, and I know Nicolas Cage is going to do a phenomenal job. But at this point, I think it's time for me to send it back to me and my friends to discuss Thunderbolts. To celebrate this monumental moment and the fact that we finally got to claw Blaze back into the recording booth, we're going to be starting with a movie review because I want to talk about Thunderbolts. Asterix.
Ah, yeah, steal my thunder, why won't ya?
Hey, man, you know, I chose this topic because I knew you and I would have quite the fun time talking about this movie. I know a couple other people in this chat don't necessarily have the knowledge of this movie, so if you guys want to, you can kind of mute us for a little bit because we may be going into some spoiler territory.
And of course, the joke went right over your head.
Wait, what? Wait, what joke? Oh, steal the thunder. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh god, I'm breaking my entire desk. Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Congratulations, Robbie.
Right, I'm a mess. But yeah, I would like to say that this Thunderbolts movie, there's one little factoid about this movie that I think we will leave to the viewer's interpretation, although Marvel basically spoiled it themselves with a poster update, and I hate it. I don't know what your opinion on it is, Blaze, but it frustrates me.
I mean, at least if it's the same thing I'm thinking about that you're talking about, at least they waited about a week before doing that.
Did they? I'm pretty sure they did it after like a couple days.
It might have been a few days, but at least they didn't do it like the night of the release. At least
That's
they
fair.
gave
Like
people
as
the
the
opening
ending
weekend
night goes. Yeah. But we'll leave that
fans
up.
are gonna see it. The true fans are going to see it opening weekend, so anyone who sees it afterwards probably isn't as big of a fan to care.
Yeah, no, one of my coworkers is actually going to see it, and I was just like, don't look at any of the posters, and he's like, well, I did see this one social media video, and I'm like, damn it, you soiled it. No, but we will be leaving that part of the spoiler talk, left unsaid, just so that way, for the regular audience. But to get into this movie, Blaze, what did you think of it? Because I freaking loved the cast. I loved the vibe of it.
It was really fun. I loved it a lot. We're definitely seeing Marvel's... Because a while back, Marvel said that they were going to take a change in direction so that they could focus more on quality over quantity on all the Marvel projects.
Oh, this was definitely quality.
This was the very first movie that we were going to see with that change, and it shows that they're finally getting back on track at doing good Marvel movies. And also, too, with the Daredevil show as well. It's like, we're finally back into a good spot where Marvel again, as long as they don't drop the ball.
Right, and I feel like that dropping of the ball will be like the Fantastic Four Doomsday, but yeah, like you said, this movie was just really refreshing, especially with all the kind of the gold-plated turds we've had to deal with over the past couple years ever since Endgame ended. But yeah, like, I think, at least first I want to talk about the cast, because I loved every single pick that they chose for this movie. I'm just upset that one character, the way they treated them, it was just so frustrating for me. But at least from the rest of the cast, I loved everybody, but especially I love Red Guardian. He is just a bundle of joy for me.
He definitely was, I wouldn't say the face of the movie, because that kind of went to Yelena, or Florence Pugh, but he was definitely a fan favorite, to say the least.
Right? I mean, like, at least from my experience, I've always seen these secondary tier characters like you said, Yelena, Red Guardian. As we come to see, we also see US Agent, Taskmaster, Taskmaster,
which is the opposite of when I see you watch anime.
Hey, okay, you know what, man?
It's always the main character.
No, but yes, but to like this movie, the way they treat their secondary characters actually kind of respects them, because as I said, like US Agent, Taskmaster. Why can I not say Taskmaster? Taskmaster, Jesus. So, like these secondary characters like US Agent, Taskmaster, Ghost, Yelena, it shows that they actually kind of know how to treat them. Like you were saying with Daredevil, that was kind of their launching point to be like, hey, we kind of know how to treat these not as dining room name value heroes. It's refreshing. I like it. I like how a whole movie was just based on these.
Their entry point with a better known hero. Daredevil was more of their launching point with a better known hero.
Well, I know, but I felt like, especially with Daredevil's kind of reputation from the Netflix days, I feel like he was still kind of like a C tier, like not really the household name that you'd have like with Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, that was because they were trying to split off from the Avengers, but...
And we saw how that went with the Defenders. No, but like the fact that they literally included all these characters, that all these characters had in part something to do with the MCU along the way, like, you know, US Agent with Captain America, Yelena with Black Widow, Ghost, I have absolutely no idea what Ghost is from, but I know Taskmaster is from Hawkeye. I feel like Ghost is just a character they threw in.
Ghost was from the second Ant-Man and Wasp.
Really? Oh, yeah. I never watched.
She was the main villain for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I love Paul Rudd, but I've never sat down to watch any of his Marvel movies, I'll be honest.
Sad, they're so good. Honestly,
I want to sit down.
I wasn't a big fan of the third one.
Well, yeah, because MODOK looks dumb. He just looks stupid. No, but like, okay, I want to get it out of the way, because out of these characters that I've listed, the one everybody's probably like having the stink eye for is John Walker, because of what he did in Winter Soldier and the Falcon, whatever the orientation is. But I don't know about you, Blaze, but I feel like he kind of was a little bit redeemed in my eyes, at least from like yeah, I still hate his character, I still hate him, but the actor he's making me love him.
Yeah, this movie definitely showed his acting skills a bit better in this than in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, Falcon and Winter Soldier was a really good show, and he did have some good moments in it, but this movie really let Wyatt Russell do more as US Agent and go further with the character. I would have liked to see a little bit more with stuff that's going on with him in the background, but I think they did his character really well in this movie.
Right. I mean, especially how he was the one that was just like, yeah, kind of screw everybody here. like, if you want to say that there was a glue to this unit, it was definitely Yelena. She was the one still trying to keep everybody cooler heads, like keeping everybody together and grouped up, because as we come to find out, they are kind of forced to work together. So honestly, I love how this movie is just like, oh, you want a team? Well, we'll make a team and we'll make you care about them, because literally I genuinely can't say that I care about US Agent before I watch this movie, but I want to know what he's got going on in like the next stage, you know?
Yeah, and to my knowledge, all of them in the Thunderbolts is gonna be in Avengers Doomsday, I think.
Well, like,
so we're
yes.
definitely gonna see more of the characters after this movie.
Oh, 100%. But the one character I think we need to talk about is literally the linchpin in probably Marvel's like perspective going forward, and that's Bob. Because Bob's a goddamn he is just a man. For those of you that don't know Bob.
Save there. That was a good save there.
Oh yeah. But for those of you that don't know, Bob Reynolds. It's Bob Reynolds. God damn it. It was Reynolds. Damn it. I was right. But Bob Reynolds, if for those of you that don't know from the comics, he is the Sentry, which is Marvel's version of Superman. And like, say what you want about like the CGI that we've seen, like the shitty CGI that we've seen, but the way they were able to show the Sentry's fluid movements once he got into his suit. Oh, dude, I felt something inside of me that I hadn't felt since like actually getting to see Superman on the big screen with how just powerful he felt. Like, this felt like Marvel has somebody of stature now.
I did really like Sentry in the movie, or Bob. I wish I would have been able to see more of him in the movie as Sentry.
Right.
But I thought it was a really cool character, and I really like the storyline that happens with him that also connects him with Yelena.
Well, yeah,
with kind of like the main theme of the movie being about just like dealing with depression.
Yeah, and trauma and mental illness. Yeah, literally. And it's not just Bob. Like, obviously, Bob he is a man who suffers from he is a man that suffers from drug abuse. He's a man that suffers from mental illness. And you give this man, like, yes, that is a main through line through pretty much every character in this plot of a movie. But the one guy who's suffering the most, you give him the power of a god? It creates such a interesting character, especially with how he interacts with Valentina, because he kind of realizes, why do I need to be listening to you? It's kind of like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball with Babidi, or Bibidi, it was Babidi, whichever one. But, like, you could feel this immense power and, like, intimidation from Sentry once he just, like, got off the leash. But when I say that, there's a very big difference between Bob letting Sentry be as powerful as he can be, and then letting off the leash, because when you piss off Sentry, the Void comes out. And when the Void comes out, everybody's f***ed.
I feel like this is getting into mild spoiler territory, Robbie.
Oh, spoiler warning.
I do find it kind of funny that Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob in the movie, I find it kind of funny that the other movie that he's known for, his character is also called Bob.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, because he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, shit.
And the character he was in there was also called Bob.
Yeah. No, dude, that's really funny. No, but I just want to say I love his acting ability. I love the way he portrays this, like, very meekly guy. Because at the start, he's just like this, he is this man who is a nobody. He is just a forgotten remnant of whatever sci-fi project that Valentina had going on. And I think he was the highlight when it could, like, yeah, I give Sebastian Stan and Winter Soldier my praise because he was wonderful in this movie. And Red Guardian's my favorite, but Bob, I think, is going to be the linchpin with what Marvel does going forward, because he's coming back in the next movie. And with how they they've treated him in this movie, like you said, there wasn't a lot that they gave us, but I feel like there was enough to showcase how impactful he's going to be in Doomsday and like beyond, you know. But
yeah, we're definitely probably going to see a lot more with him. I'm interested to see if his character is going to be like have more of an important role when it comes to like Doomsday and Secret Wars, if he's in both of them.
Oh, dude, there's no way Marvel is going to do this and then not include him in the movie. Like, I guarantee you they're going to put out another press release where they're going to announce another host of characters that are going to be featured in Doomsday, and Sentry's name is going to be in there, just like Tom Holland and whoever else they want to throw in. Maybe that's when we'll get another reveal of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, you know? I just hope they do it in a faster... Dude, I actually watched back the presentation they did.
My bad. I don't think that they're going to be back for more Spider-Man stuff. I think that was more... Unless they do more, like, multiverse stuff and they start doing towards Spider-Verse.
That's what I think Doomsday is.
Didn't they say... Because when they did the casting chair video for Doomsday, I think Tobey Maguire's chair was in that list.
No, I can remember
could be completely wrong.
Yeah, as of right now, there are no... I think the only Spider-Man that's in it is Tom Holland, but...
Tom Holland is not in Doomsday.
Oh, no, sorry. Because Tom Holland's coming back with Brand New Day. He is in his own separate movie. There is no... As of right now, there is no Spider-Man actor in Doomsday.
Yeah, after the series of Spider-Man, this stuff was done, he was going to be taking a break, if I remember, for Tom Holland.
Well, yeah, of course he's going to say that. He has a history of f***ing up spoilers. For once, they're just going to make him say...
He wasn't talking like interviews and stuff. He was talking from acting because it's been like stressful and stuff.
Oh, no, I do remember that report. But you know, Hollywood pays. Marvel will pay him like millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, and it's, who knows, they may be like, oh well, the big crossover movies technically count for the end of the like series for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but this is the point where I kind of want to focus on just a small amount of spoilers, just to kind of wrap up my segment. Not to discuss anything when it comes to the Sentry, because I want the viewer to see that, because holy fucking shit, he's like my favorite character in all of comics. But Blaze, I think we need to at least address the post-credit scene, because yeah, it's going to be kind of important, huh?
I feel like that post-credit scene is tricking us.
I think
because Marvel wouldn't do a post-credit scene like that, because that post-credit scene pretty much just answers what's gonna happen at the end of one of their next movies.
Well, yeah, obviously, to address it,
spoiler alert. Major spoiler alert here.
Major spoiler alert. Should be said. But so Yelena and the rest of the Thunderbolts essentially get a message, and basically out in space, the Fantastic Four ship shows up. So I think this scene is going to be after the Fantastic Four movie, and like you said, Blaze, this will probably, like, this kind of spoils what's going to happen, but I think the way they get to it is the thing that's going to be the mystery that they'll keep under lock and key, and I've got a few ideas of what they're going to do.
From the way that it looks from the Fantastic Four trailers, it looks like, spoilers if you haven't seen the trailers, I guess, but it looks like Galactus and the Silver Surfer are gonna be like their first, oh shit, there's stuff in space that's affecting us.
But I think the
reason, it could be that afterward, like at the end of the movie, you see them making the spaceship.
I think the reason why Galactus shows up, though, is because Franklin gets born.
Oh, more than likely if they're sticking, but they also said that it's going to be it's their own story, so I'm not sure where they're going with that.
See, I feel like I'm just fueled with fan theory, because I remember back in a interview with the actors, the concept of it being a family movie was brought up, and the actress behind Invisible Woman was like, she gave the corporate, I can't answer because they will kill me. No, but like, there was one thing about this scene that was like kind of important to me, and that's the fact that like we're essentially going to get the big three teams in Doomsday. Like, I know that was revealed in the casting, but like now we have the Fantastic Four in the main MCU. We will eventually probably have the X-Men crossing over. Like, we are at a state where like 10 years ago it'd be like, oh, what about this crossover? They're like, we couldn't do that. Too many people, too many industries own too many different characters. And now Marvel owns them all. Or I guess more accurately, Disney. I mean, that's pretty much everything I have to talk about for Thunderbolts movie. It was a great movie. I kind of didn't want to give too much of the plot away because, again, I want to implore everybody to go out of their way to watch it. But it was a great comedic little romp with these characters. I feel like everybody kind of shined. And yeah, I'm just excited to see Bob again. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I did want to ask with like, you say it's like a funny little, and you've mentioned kind of like a, not mentioned, but like you said that it was like funny and stuff. Is it like a old school style funny for Marvel movies, or is it like they try to be overly funny like the newer style of Marvel content?
No, it's definitely old school.
Yeah, I didn't feel like any of the jokes were forced. It felt everything was kind of like natural with how the characters would act. Nobody felt like they were given a script and being told what to say. Like, I know that's how acting works, but you get what I'm saying.
It had heart to it.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick as an addendum, Gemini, we talked about the Switch 2 last time, and I was like, yeah, we as the consumer base have to make a statement and not pre-order. And I was dumb because I wasn't thinking about scalpers, and then the pre-orders got sold out like immediately, and then they were immediately on eBay for like so much more money, and I'm an idiot, so I just wanted to...
I mean, I don't really see how that's an addendum. That's just an inevitability that happens regardless.
I know, I just find it funny how last week I was like, yeah, we gotta just not buy it. And I'm like, oh, I saw eBay, and now they're selling for like $800 to $1,000.
Oh yeah, people don't care. If they can get a profit off of it, they don't care.
Ugh, it's gross. Also, there's an addendum for the addendum, as Nintendo has changed their terms of service for the Switch 2. Basically, if you try to mod the Switch 2, you'll be not only banned, as you did for the Switch 1, but they will also brick your console, meaning you won't even be able to use it anymore. All for modding and trying to add to the experience of the console. Oh, and they also added in that you can't sue them over it. Like, for legal purposes and the people that abuse modding, I get it, but this is a real shame. Especially on that last note, because it's kind of scummy. And also an even bigger, more blatant reason why I won't be getting the Switch 2. You know, after talking about the live-action Spider-Noir teaser, I'm kind of still in the superhero mood, and it just so happens I have the perfect topic just for this occasion. And that is the fact that we got an official cinematic trailer for a new superhero simulator game from MightyRaccoon. Now, for those of you that don't know, MightyRaccoon is a YouTube channel that posts a lot of 3D animation fight scenes between popular characters like Spider-Man, and it's kind of mostly Marvel characters and Spider-Man, which I'm not going to complain because I love Spider-Man. And basically what is happening is they are creating their own game. Basically, Superhero Simulator is an open world superhero game where you can essentially make your own hero and go about the daily life, whether it's stopping crime, defeating supervillains, or even just saving people from everyday crime or tragedy like burning buildings, robberies. From the looks of it on their Steam page, this game looks to be kind of similar to Sunset Overdrive and GTA, but I will say the graphics look really stylized. They take heavily from comic book inspiration, and I am a real big fan of that. It seems like their character customization is pretty in-depth, and you can essentially make any type of person, and hopefully that type of customization is still applied to the array of superpowers you can get. Now, the other aspects of this game is essentially a life simulator. So from what it looks like, there is the superhero part of the game, but then there's also the civilian part of the game where you can go around and work jobs or, you know, drive a vehicle around, like I said, like GTA. And it really looks to be a game that has a lot of effort and a lot of thought put into it, because this is kind of a game that I've always wanted excited to see, because I will be honest, one of my comfort environments in gaming is to just pick up Amazing Spider-Man 2 and just go swinging around the city. So if I'm able to do something similar to that, whether it's just flying around or having that open world to explore, I think this will be a game I will have a lot of fun with. For right now, it doesn't seem to have a release date, as it'll be coming soon to early access on Steam, but I know for one thing, especially with the price increases we've seen from companies like Nintendo and Microsoft, I am kind of one to actually put money towards this game, because yeah, it doesn't look the most polished, yeah, the graphics kind of look like a couple years old, but at the end of the day, I will always support independent creators, and from the looks of it, this looks to be the equivalent of like the Saints Row 4 game, where you're just dropped in, you have unlimited power, and you could essentially do anything you want. And the one thing I will add, just as kind of wishful thinking for this game, I hope they add a villains mode, where you're able to actually be the supervillain causing issues, like trying to blow up a city, or trying to commit a bank robbery, or whatever type of crime they want to code in. I hope that they at least take that opportunity to kind of diversify it, because yes, a superhero game is going to be fun, but if they don't make it a wide enough range, the scope of how much fun you're able to have may be a little bit limited just with how repetitive some things may get. But at the end of the day, I think that's something that every game deals with now and again. But on the surface, this looks to be a great game to get into if you finally wanted to live out your superhero fantasies. But just to bring it back, because I just can't get enough of it, the comic book art style looks gorgeous. I love the cell shading, I love the animation of how things are fluidly moving, and it brings me back to the excitement of the games, like I said, of Sunset Overdrive, where it's so much passion and so much energy put towards something that's honestly just for fun. And I will always be an advocate for small scale companies and groups of people that are able to create incredible stuff, like games like Player Obscura, but you'll hear about that in a couple weeks' time. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to discuss when it comes to the trailer of Superhero Simulator by MightyRaccoon. I am so excited to see when this will come out and what else they'll do with this game, but at this point, I think it's best for me to send it back to me and my friends to end this week's episode.
Thank you guys for letting me come back and doing another episode with y'all. Thanks, Robbie.
Do more movie reviews. Watch more movies.
Trust me, I'll be doing some more movie reviews. You don't have to take them from me.
No, but I'm glad that you were able to join us for our big, technically 99 through 103, but our big 100 celebration episode, so woo.
Yes. Thanks, Gemini.
A pleasure as always.
And thanks, Manus.
Oh yeah, always fun.
But thanks for checking out our podcast. If you want to watch some of our older stuff, there's our YouTube channel, PopCulture Effect. And please check out everyone else's podcasts on CJSW and enjoy everyone else's content. And with that, I think it's good to sign off. See ya!
Bye-bye.
It is commenced. We are now locked in. I guess I might as well just start it off real quick. No stalling.